Hello and welcome to part 2 Jeffro's Country Living. This is the making of prickly pear cactus jelly. Right now you see we have all the prickly pears that had cut up. They're in water. They're on the stove. We have to get them boiling. After they boil, we're going to have to mash them. So right now we're just going to get them to start boiling.
Everyone. Hi, I'm Rose with Jeffro's Country Living. Jeffrey already showed you earlier, we have the prickly pear fruit on the stove, simmering. We're waiting for it to come to a boil and then get soft. And then I'm going to smash the fruit to get all the juice out of them. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and clean and sanitize our mason jars and our lids and put them in a water bath to get them sterilized for when the fruit is ready to be jellied. So that's my next step that I'm about to do. You always want to make sure you clean your jars. You have nice jelly jars for your fruit to go in to make sure that the process, there's no hiccups in the process. But sometimes you can get germs and whatnot in your jelly jars if you don't clean and sterilize them prior to making the jelly. So I'm going through and clean them with clean, hot, soapy water. And then I still am going to put them in a hot water bath to sterilize the jars before I put the jelly in there. So I always start out with clean jars. And then when we go to the next process of mashing the fruit, when it gets soft, we'll be back for the next step. Thank you. Now I'm testing to see if the fruit is getting soft so I can start mashing the fruit to get all the juices out of them and also get that nice vibrant red color and all the flavoring juices. They're still cooking down, so I'm just kind of giving them a little mash. Still going to let them cook down a little bit longer. Get all that, but you can see already it's starting to get a nice red color already. Let's let that cook down a little bit more. As you can see over here, I'm going to put the lid back on these. And I'm over here getting my lids, sterilizing my lids. Getting them all ready. Jars. So then my jars, I wash them because when you get them from the store, they could be dusty. You don't know what's been crawling all over them. So I wash them with warm, sudsy water. Before I place my jelly in the jars, I will put them in the hot water bath. I usually do my lids first, and then I'll go ahead and put my jars in. And then I set them out upside down, and I like them nice and hot before I pour my jelly in. It seems to really help the seal when I put the lid on there. And I place them back into the hot water bath after I put my jelly in there. But we'll show you that step later. But we'll let this simmer a little bit longer, then we'll come back and finish the mashing process. See you soon. Say it. Say I'm pouring. Okay, I'm pouring the fruits to get the juice. The bulk of the juice into
The wire mesh strainer. And underneath.
So that's just exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to leave it set.
And then I'm going to take and mash to get all of the fruits. See all the seeds in there? I'm going to mash to get all the juices out. And all the color. And all the flavor as much as we can.
What is
As
this?
you can see, I have another strainer underneath. As you can see, it's getting all that good juice strained through. And I did the double strainer so that to make sure none of the seeds slip through. And as you see how deep color purple they were before in the first video, a lot of that has boiled out and it's now in the juice. So now I'm just mashing and getting out as much of the juice and flavor as I can to ensure that our juice is nice, our jelly is nice and flavorful. Now I have the cactus fruit and a strainer, and then underneath of it, the white strainer, we have a cheesecloth to catch any excess seeds that may have fallen through the strainer to make sure we have clean juice and no seeds so that our jelly comes out nice and pretty. So I'm mashing and getting out all the juice. Check and see. Pretty much all.
We're gonna put that in the blender.
Yeah, I think it's plenty. We have plenty of juice in there. That's going to be, once we strain that, we're going to need 4 cups at a time. That's going to be plenty.
I'm gonna turn that into wine.
If we have any excess left over, you're more than welcome.
Talking about the pulp.
Yeah, you can. Well, you can have that. I'm going to put it right here. Yeah. A little hot.
Wow, it's a good drink.
Yeah, it's strained pretty good. I don't have any excess coming off this stuff. It's hot. Hot, hot, hot. And what I'm going to do is strain off just 4 cups of juice. So you only can make that. Why you got me so close, right? But 4 batches, 4 cups of juice at a time. So in batches of 4 cups of juice at a time. Anything more than that, it may not set the jelly. So we're gonna make sure we're not overdoing it. I know we really would like to go ahead and do this whole pot of juice, but we don't want to just waste it. So we'll just take our time and do it right. Hi. The next process that I'm about to do, I'm going to use 4 cups of the prickly pear juice. I'm going to use a pouch of the pectin jelly, which is in a box like this. I'm going to use 2 cups of lemon juice. You can do fresh squeeze or you can buy it in a jar like this. And I'm going to do 4 cups of granulated sugar. And the steps I'm going to do it, I'm going to have the prickly pear come to a boil. I'm going to add the pectin, and I'm going to add the pectin and the lemon juice. Then I'm going to add the sugar. And at that point, it should start thickening up and get to the consistency that I want when it's boiling, to the point where you're stirring it and still has a hard boil. Then it's ready to then be poured into the jars. Once you skimmed off the top and there's no more, there's no foaming at the top. You skim that foam off, and when you see that foaming at the top and it's starting to set a little bit on your spoon, you know that the jelly is ready. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start the next process. Tell me when. This is 4 cups of the prickly pear juice. We're going to go ahead and turn it on high because we want that to come to a nice rolling boil. Once we get that on a nice rolling boil, we will add the lemon juice. We'll add the pectin. Stir that until it becomes a rolling boil. Once that becomes a rolling boil, then we'll add our 4 cups of sugar until it becomes a rolling boil. Once it becomes a rolling boil and it starts raising up, we'll then turn it down to a kind of a simmer and start skimming off the top. Once we start skimming off the top, any excess foam, the jelly is then ready to be poured into the jars. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna add some lemon juice. It helps with the acidity of the jelly. Put that in, and I'm gonna let that come to a boil as well. It won't take long. It'll be boiling too. Once that comes to a rolling boil again, I'll go ahead and add the pectin. They have the powdered pectin, but I prefer the liquid. It just seems like the jelly comes out so pretty, and you don't have to worry about it clumping up with the powdered pectin. I know the powdered pectin is the original, but I've just been really pleased with this liquid pectin. Seems like it dissolves easy. That's just my personal opinion, but I think,
Yeah, liquid.
yeah.
Mixes with liquid.
Easy, right?
Easier.
Don't have to worry about things clumping up.
When do you put it in?
Once it comes to a rolling boil, see it's already, I'm stirring and it's still boiling. It's letting you know it's ready for me to go to the next step. So go ahead and put this in, okay? Pouring that in. And get all that out of there as much as you can. Go ahead and stir that. And now the next thing is to put the sugar. Once you get that rolling boil. Thank you, Benny. My assistant there. Thank you, Benny. And you don't want it to squirt, so you gotta constantly stir it at this point, especially when you add the sugar. Now I'm about to pour the sugar, which is 4 cups of sugar. Pour all that in there. So it has that pretty shiny look to it. So I have the sugar and the pectin kind of combining together. Give it that look almost like Jell-O. That's what it reminds you of when you're making jello.
Looks like Jello.
That's what it looks like.
We're making Cactus prickly pear jelly, y'all. Homemade. Look
Get
how
out of Jeffro's kitchen.
Jeffro's Country Living. It's looking beautiful, baby.
Thank you.
It's looking pretty.
So get all the rest of that sugar out of there. Now let's keep on stirring that. It starts bubbling. So we have that look to it. Yep.
What you looking for?
It has a certain you have to get up to a certain degree. Almost like when you're making candied apples, and to reach a certain temperature. In order for it to get to that setting, for it to set like jelly, and wait for it to boil up. So far it hasn't started bubbling up and making that hard boil yet. You want to stir, but not too hard. So you're starting to get the bubbles starting to come. I'm waiting for that hard bubble. And it's coming, hard bubble. See that? That hard bubble. See, I'm stirring and it's still bubbling. Awesome. So now after boiling and I got the pectin in, I had to tweak it a little bit because of the needing some acidity. We added the lemon juice. I had to add a little bit more pectin, so I added 2 pouches of pectin to the 4 cups of juice and another cup of sugar, so a total of 5 cups of sugar and 2 pouches of pectin. But I'm skimming off the excess there, but if you see, that's a nice consistency there, and how it's setting up already, so it's letting you know it's going to be a good jelly. Okay, now I'm getting my jars ready, and I'm about to pour the jelly into the jar. So give me 1 second. I'm now filling up the jars with the jelly in my funnel. Look at how pretty it came out. Ladling it into the jars. Super hot. And you gotta leave a little head space so for the jelly. And then you take the jar. 1 second. And you don't want to affect the seal, so you want to take and wipe around the top of the jar. Place your seal. And these are the lids that I had in the hot water bath to sterilize. And you want to hand close them. We're going to go through each one of these until we fill as many jars as we can, and then we'll come back to you when we're ready to place them in the hot water bath. Be right back. Now I'm putting the jelly in the water bath. Make sure you're letting the water cover them. I like to go ahead and cover them so they get a nice pressurized bath, and we let them come to a rolling boil for 15 minutes. And in this other pot, I'm starting my next batch. I got my pectin in, my lemon juice, and the prickly pear juice. And now I'm about to add my sugar. And the process just keeps going till you don't have any more prickly pear juice, or you run out of jars, or sugar. I'm going to try to make as many batches as we can.
You see, she has me making fresh lemon juice out of these lemons. Okay, everybody, I want to thank you for watching Jeff Rose Country Living. As you can see, this is the last of the prickly pear jelly. They are fresh out of the hot water. Look at this one. It's the last 3 in here. And they're going to have to sit for 24 hours. Look at that. Aren't they beautiful? They're so beautiful. And they taste so good. Please like, share, and subscribe to Jeff Rose Country Living. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye.